Ladies and gentlemen, it's playoffs round 3. That means we got to recap round 2 and get to the results. We got 8 teams right now. At the end of this show, we will only have 6. 2 teams are going home. No way around it. 6 teams move closer to the 5,000. Here's how it works. Game breakers and fundraisers still in effect. Win and you're in. Lose, just don't have the lowest scores. 2 losing lowest scores are gone. FAAB still in effect, but if you lose, your team goes into the pool for everybody else to use in the competition. Last week, ChefBoyRDJ came out with the top score. Dark Horse ran up the rear. They actually faced each other this week. We'll see how it all turned out. Unfortunately, we had to say goodbye to Patriot Sports Radio's Chris and Eric, and from Adam Hulse Sports, the Adam Hulse. They did not make it, but these 8 teams moved on. ChefBoyRDJ went up against Dark Horse Alex Whitlock. TSF went against TSS, Jordan versus Jason. SteelinBallsKillinGiants versus the dynamic duo Andrew and Kate, and the Average Joe took on Sir Frosty Austin Mealy. Everybody got to triple up the kicker points for every kicker they could put on their roster, and they got to pick someone else that wasn't a QB and do the same things. It's the trenches, it's playoffs, it's round 3. 2 people go home, 6 people move on towards $5,000. Let's go. Once again, big thanks goes out to the overly talented Rob Machado for putting that intro together for us. Still blows my mind that's one guy doing all that video merch you like. Group round 2 results show. We dropped from 8 to 6. It's all going down tonight. It's getting closer and closer.
Yeah, it's one of those blessing and a curse type feelings. You know, someone's going home. I did look at some of the scores, and I didn't want to dig too deep, but I was looking at some of those benches, and I was like, how well did they do with the game breaker? And I'm kind of hoping some higher scores were popping up here soon.
It's definitely some unexpected results, some maybe not so unexpected results. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that much closer to $5,000. We got to change the format just a little bit. These are your matchups as we talked about in the recap. Let's talk about some top scorers.
If you ain't first, you're last. If you ain't first, you're last.
I know everybody's saying top scorers. What are you talking about, top scorers? Look, maybe it was Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard tripling up to 70 points this week. Is he going to come into play? How about Tyreek Hill? He tripled up to 82 points. How's he going to play out this week? Good old Jamar Chase, 96 points to someone's roster. But that didn't do as well as the top scorer, Mr. Justin Jefferson. 127 points got added to Dark Horse's roster this week. ChefBoyRDJ, that can't have you feeling very good.
It doesn't. He went with the same plan that a few of us did, and I saw Jefferson where he was, and I knew something was up. It was over.
I don't know about over, but it was definitely not something that you wanted to see. But with that, I guess there's only one thing to do, and that's cue the music. True Serum Football, Dobbins Dobby, TSF versus TSS. True Serum Football loaded up on kickers this week. Dobbins Dobby's literally taken out everybody they come against. Someone had to win, someone had to lose. This week, True Serum Football comes out on top. Dobbins Dobby, I'm sorry, you are up for elimination. ChefBoyRDJ, 12th pick versus Dark Horse Alex Whitlock. 10-game win streak for ChefBoyRDJ. Dark Horse with the other best record in the league. This week, the streak is over. Dark Horse pulls out the win. Justin Jefferson doing his work. Average Joe Ballers versus the kid, Sir Frosty. Average Joe Ballers has not lost yet in the playoffs. Sir Frosty trying to avoid elimination. Winners and losers. No video, working for the playoffs. Average Joe Ballers will move on to the next round. Sir Frosty up for elimination. Team RamRod. Team RamRod has been up for elimination every week, and yet they are still here. They survive. They go up against SteelinBallsKillinGiants. Stealing Balls struggling, but have been able to pull out a win last week. And they pull it out again. Team RamRod again up for elimination. Can they survive another round? Let's talk about these two guys. Who are these two guys? Well, that's Cade York and Eddie Pinheiro. Cade York had 4 points, tripled up to 12. Eddie Pinheiro, 13 for 39. That's 51 points that went completely unrostered. Ladies and gentlemen, your bottom four for this week. Dobbins Dobby, ChefBoyRDJ, Sir Frosty, Team RamRod. 2 teams stay, 2 teams go home. Round 2, results happens now. Let's talk about Cade York and Eddie Pinheiro. 51 points that landed exactly nowhere. That is the question. How did this happen? Losing
I can
teams,
answer it.
Dobbins Dobby, Austin.
Because Jordan dropped it at the end.
Yep,
So,
at the end of the day.
What
I
happened?
if anyone loses and doesn't win the 5K, Jordan.
Jordan's
I'm
the one
gonna
to pay for it? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, this was 100% my move. These guys were both on my fantasy roster late Saturday night. I saw Kenneth Walker sitting out there, and I saw somebody else. I forget who the second guy. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to beat Cooper either way. These are my 2 least performing kickers, which I was wrong on Pinheiro, obviously, but
Yeah.
I went and grabbed some extra pieces for my roster going into this week.
And so these guys were
But-
stuck on waivers.
Yeah, but I did it late enough that nobody else could have them either.
Yep.
Ouch, man, gameplay.
Dropping his entire roster for kickers.
Yep.
That is just nothing but fear and scared. And I can't wait and hope to see you again because you won't be running with the kickers this time, boy.
I might be. I might bring the kickers back for the rematch. You don't know. Wild card, bitches.
Hey, Jordan, how much money did you spend on all those kickers?
All
That's
of
me.
it.
You got $9.
All of it.
Good night.
Fab
Good night
becomes
this
more
week.
and more useless the deeper we get
night
into
this
this.
week.
I'm gonna win a 6-man every time. I'm just saying.
Dobbins Dobby, you take the loss. You're up for elimination. How are you feeling?
I mean, it sucks. I mean, I'm up for elimination, so obviously it's not good. But being of the losing team, I know I put it on that ass, so I got points, and I feel like I'm all right.
Austin,
Yep.
how you feeling?
Oh, it's over. GG's. I'm excited to pick the GameBreaker. Hopefully I can screw some people.
Andrew and Kate, up for elimination again. You survived it twice. Are we surviving again this week? ChefBoyRDJ, not only taking your first loss, but now you're up for elimination. How you feeling about it?
Well, if I'm not eliminated, I'm counting that as a win. A loss here is bottom 2. That's what a loss is to me. So I'm 11-win streak right now.
Adam Holst said it himself. All I got to do is not be the last one. Well, look, 4 teams up for elimination. ChefBoyRDJ takes his first loss. Austin, Andrew, and Kate say they're gone. ChefBoyRDJ said he put it on that ass. One of these teams is safe. The other 3 won't know until later. Jason Cooper.
You already know. You are so much trouble. Listen, without game breakers, I have dominated this entire field. I cannot wait for this week.
But there have been game breakers. Does that not worry you?
Not at all, because I'm putting up the points without them. So the game breakers just make it even better for me. I just lost the waiver wire war on Tuesday last week. But this week, Buddy with $9 ain't pulling no tricks this week, I can assure you. So, yeah, let's go.
We'll see about that.
There it is.
Trick Daddy.
Speaking of seeing about that, let's see about that. TruthSerumFootball, Dobbins, Dobby, raw score 154-6, 196-3. Hefty lead for Dobbins, Dobby, but we know he ended up on the wrong side. These say double up because these players were on your roster, so their first round of score is accumulated in that raw score. So these guys doubled up for another 24, 64, 10, and 46 respectively. Pollard having a great day, not as great as Chase, and that helped TruthSerumFootball make up a lot of that ground. And then, of course, TruthSerumFootball with 4 kickers on the bench that actually 3 of which were in like the top 5 for scores on kickers this week. So against Dobbins, Dobby's 1 kicker, we can see how TruthSerumFootball comes out on top in this one. TruthSerumFootball, you guys had so many kickers, you were able to drop 2 of them. Ridiculous, honestly.
Did what I had to do.
And you come out
Survive and advance.
Like I said,
Dobbins, Dobby, you went.
But fear.
You only went with 1 kicker. Were you really not worried, or did you just miss out on the pickups?
Yeah, apparently I don't know how to work FAAB apparently very well, because like I put a bid on every kicker, I thought anyway, and I woke up right around that time, and I literally, as the thing went, I'm just watching them all just go to Jordan, and I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. But like I said, once that happened, I'm like, you know what? All I have to do is score as many points as possible, which again, raw score-wise, 3 weeks in a row playoff-wise, ain't no one coming close to me, so I'm not really worried.
196.30 is a nice raw score to have. We'll see what happens in the next one. So here's round 3 results so far. We got Average Joe Ballers with the win, SteelinBallsKillinGiants with the win, TruthSerumFootball with the win. Dobbins Dobby gets added, and that takes us to this week's top score.
If you ain't first, you're last. You know?
There we go. Dark Horse, our other winner, 368.05. Alex Whitlock getting a little help, a lot of help from Justin Jefferson with his 130 points. Man, I know you were really liking just watching Jefferson's points keep going up and up and up, Alex.
Yeah, that was great. I think there was a missed call where they said he was out of bounds, and he actually ran it in for a touchdown, so that was a little upsetting. But everything else worked out all right, and I didn't spend a single dollar on a kicker, and I ended up with 3.
Yeah, because 130 30 points. Yeah, that'll get you upset. So you take out ChefBoyRDJ. You took the loss last week. You take out ChefBoyRDJ this week. The GameBreaker clearly helped you out one way or the other. Even if you didn't pile up on the kickers, you still got to triple up on Jefferson. How are you feeling about your chances for the rest of this thing?
Oh, I'd say right around 18% win chance.
18. Big. He's going big. That takes us to fabulous fundraisers. Let's talk about some fundraisers. 4 people getting in this week on the fundraisers. I understand people are falling out, and so a lot of support is going down, but we can still keep that going. I'm loving what Mission 22 did. Kate and Andrew, $167 donation coming through. Fantastic for that charity. Just great work by all of you guys. There's the 4 teams: Stealing Balls, Dobbins, Dobby, TruthSerumFootball, Team RamRod, Gladys of SteelinBallsKillinGiants. You guys have really had a donation pretty much every week, steady across the board. You told us before that you have no problem guilting your friends into donating, but they're just really coming through, and you are really coming through for your charity. Highest total for a charity this year. You got to be proud about that, I would hope.
I am. I'm very proud about it, and I'm very happy because the money will come in just in wintertime for the Jump Friends League, which is like shelters. Which is like shelters slowest time.
Well, I'm glad that it's working out. I'm glad you're able to do that. And hey, you're going to be around for one more week to raise a little bit more money for them. So congratulations on that. Congratulations to everybody. 2964. I fully expect to eclipse that 3,000 next week. A few more weeks to keep building. So proud of you guys for doing this.
Chris, and I did the calculations just early, just so everyone's aware. Now Jordan is up to $27.75, aka you can't bid on nothing, bitch.
Well, he's got some more FAAB coming this week for his donations to his charity, and you guys have just really killed it and done a great job. So good job there. But we can't just keep everyone around forever. There's still elimination to get to. And unfortunately, it's about that time. Here we go. ChefBoyRDJ takes the streak is broken. Will he last further into competition? Sir Frosty, pretty sure that he is gone. We're going to find out. Team RamRod, kind of feeling the same way. One team is safe. 2 teams are eliminated. I hate saying it, but those guys let Team Robbins and Frosty down. Team RamRod, Sir Frosty, I'm sorry. You guys have, in fact, been eliminated from the competition. Those are your combined scores this week. Raw score 119 for Team RamRod, 90. Weren't able to really get a hold of any kickers or didn't understand. We'll find out in a second. Those are Diggs and McPherson, your normal players on your roster. You guys could have took those players and put them on the bench and put in another player. Team RamRod, we'll start with you. What happened this week with the GameBreaker and everything else?
So because we were traveling last Tuesday, there was a breakdown in our connection during the filming. We didn't fully understand the full capacity of the GameBreaker, didn't know we could really use our bench, and didn't know we could pick up multiple kickers. And then that on top of 4 players on our bench outscoring our entire starting roster just completely screwed us.
Yeah, that's definitely not going to help things. Sir Frosty, you kind of definitely had a problem with the team not showing up. I mean, you've done a pretty good job of winning. You've had a really a fantastic record over the last 5 weeks or so. And then this happens at just the wrong time.
Yeah, I almost didn't pick Adams. I did put him on my bench, not on my team. I almost picked him not to be my triple because I thought he was due for a dud. but you got to go Devontae, right? Number 2 wide receiver on the
Player
year.
studs.
And then other than that, I thought it was just a very vague. I saw all caps right away on the GameBreaker, the thing for the kickers. I just thought it was a super vague connection. Didn't really think all kickers being tripled meant they could just sit on your bench as well. So that's kind of where I went looked for players instead of the kickers.
There you go. Everybody, this is the last night that we will see Team RamRod and Sir Frosty on the show. Take a few minutes to show your appreciation, if you would.
Awesome playing with both of y'all. All three of y'all.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man.
Fun stuff.
It's been a lot of fun.
I'm glad it's Sean, not me.
I'm rooting for you, Chef.
I love you, man.
I'm even rooting for Chef, but I'm still in the competition.
Elio just still talks too damn much.
Yeah, bro.
I'm just looking to screw as many of you on the way out as possible.
I'll see you guys at Final Tribal Council.
Pick something that's going to screw up Jordan.
Yeah.
It really sucks letting any of these teams go each week, and I know it's getting closer to the champion, and that is exciting. But Team RamRod, I'm gonna miss you guys being on every week. I love that you guys came on as a team and have really done all this stuff as a team. It's just really been a pleasure. And Austin, obviously, you're in college. You're the young one, the kid in the group, and you just really showed up and gave these guys hell throughout this entire season.
Amen.
Yeah,
Yep.
100%. You are a gamer, and you are definitely a true fantasy footballer. So congratulations on making it this far and really solidifying your own reputation as a player.
Tough L's. I thought I was going to make it deeper.
I'm glad you didn't. You're really strategic.
We'll take it, though. We'll take it.
You're like my
There's-
favorite person to lead.
You're grinding, kid.
I
for
can tell you, there's
Fun
a
playing
lot
with
of
you guys.
people in this room that were surprised to see you go, and a lot of people in this room that have expressed to me personally that they were very surprised to see this as the result. So yeah, you're not the only one surprised, and you were definitely feared. I can tell you.
Just a big whiff on the GameBreaker. That's all it
I
takes.
fear everybody, apparently.
I wouldn't necessarily call it a whiff. Andrew, Kate, and Austin, I was looking at your lineups, and I had a few players in my teams that you guys have that were a big swing and a miss this week. It did hurt me as well, so I feel your pain all the way, and we will miss you guys. But I totally get where you guys are coming from because, hey, every week somebody doesn't show up, and sometimes it's on your team, and it's a bummer when it's in the playoffs.
T. Higgins and Ramondre hurt me.
I know Ramondre was on mine.
Yeah.
I feel you.
It's tough.
Ramondre.
I almost started Kyler Murray, too. That would have been 3 big hitters.
Yeah, I had Kyler Murray too.
All right. Well, we have to move on, unfortunately, but we're glad to have you guys around to the end of the show. We'll see you guys again, I'm sure. These are the GameBreaker results. These are points accumulated through the GameBreaker itself. We see how well everybody did with the GameBreaker. Of course, Dark Horse getting more than half his points from Jefferson alone. And we'll see how that translates out into the final scores, the matchups, and how well the GameBreakers get managed going forward. And that's going to bring us to the pot that Austin's been waiting for. That's going to take us to the GameBreaker. Austin, you said it yourself. You are the man. You get to pick the one and screw everybody on the way out the door. Where are we going?
I'm going to go with the one that I really didn't want picked last week or any week for that matter. Let's go COVID.
There it is.
COVID.
Finally. Thank you, Austin. Thank you.
Man, COVID is a monster. I'm going to tell you right now.
Indoors.
The remaining 6 are going to really wish that you were not the one that got on this one. Some of your starters didn't get vaccinated and have infected opposing players with their points. Then those players infected the players across from them. Here's how it works. You're going to pick 2 of your positions whose infected points will be sent to an opposing position. Then you're going to pick the 2 opposing positions and specify which infected points they are getting. So that means that you are going to take the person in your wide receiver one spot, and you're going to send those points to one of your opposing players. The rub, infected players infect those across from them with their points. So if you infect Jefferson, then when I look at the rosters, the player slotted across from Jefferson is going to get infected with points as well. Infected points stay with the player that receives them. So if you infect Jefferson, Jefferson will get those infected points. Jefferson's points, original points, will go to the player across from him, not the infected points. So by infecting Jefferson, you're giving him that player's points that infected him, but you're also sending Jefferson's points over to your team, to someone on your team. So you have to think about that. The two host players keep their points unless they get infected. So whoever's points you sent over, that person still keeps their points. And you won't know who on your roster is infected until, of course, we reveal the scores on Tuesday. I know you guys have questions, and they will all be explained, but we won't spend the next half hour on the show trying to break that down. We will go through these, of course, and let people know how all this is going to work.
Can we get a cheat sheet?
While we do that,
raise your hand
right?
right now, because
Oh, I get it. You guys don't understand this?
Yeah, that's because you're infected, you bastard.
What are you guys thinking right now about this game breaker? Thanks a lot, Austin, for that, by the way.
Oh, this couldn't have came at a better time.
Won't be the first time I've been infected.
I have no idea what's going on, so whatever.
Yeah, me too.
Coop doesn't need it. Coop doesn't need the game breaker anyway. He's good.
I'm not a brain surgeon, but I'm not dumb either. So I don't get it.
I'm bringing the kickers.
Yeah, well, hey,
it might pay off. It might not. We'll talk about it in a little bit. But before we talk about it, let's talk about the round 3 final scores. These are the final results, raw scores, tripled up points, all that stuff. This is how it all plays out. Winners on the left, losers on the right. But those are losers that are moving on. So there's really only one thing to do, and that is set the matchups for next week. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is our matchups for next week. We see teams eliminated. We head to round 3, and this is how it's going to go. Team Dark Horse versus Average Joe Ballers. This is a rematch from week 11, not that far back. Dark Horse won the raw score by 7.4, but in the closest game we've ever had, Average Joe's wins the game breaker by 0.5 points and takes the victory. That was actually the last time Dark Horse lost. Average Joe's has not lost in the playoffs at all and is on a nice 3-game win streak. Dark Horse getting back on the streak after losing last week. TruthSerumFootball versus ChefBoyRDJ round 3. These guys met in week 10. They met in week 12, so it makes sense they meet in week 14. Chef owns the 2 previous matchups, but TruthSerumFootball has turned it around, is on a 2-game win streak. Chef coming off his first loss in 10 weeks. This is obviously the first ever bumper match we've had on the trenches, and it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on
I just want to say real quick for everybody, it was weeks 10, 12, 14, and we're also playing against each other in week 16 if you guys were curious. So,
and it starts already. SteelinBallsKillinGiants versus Dobbins Dobby. 2-win streak for SteelinBalls. Dobbins Dobby finally taking a loss after a few weeks. They also met in week 11. Dobbins Dobby won both the raw score and increased his lead with the game breaker. Dobbins Dobby is 6-1 over the last 7. This is SteelinBall's 3rd win since week 7, and they are on a 2-game win streak. SteelinBalls has never won 3 in a row, and Dobbins Dobby has only lost twice in a row, once way at the beginning of the season. So something's got to push comes to shove, someone's going to win, someone's going to be up for elimination. Next week, 3 teams on the losing side, 2 of them are going home. It's come down to it. It's going to be crazy. Week 3, here's your matchups. 2 teams gone, 1 losing team will survive, 3 teams move on, that much closer. The semifinals get set next week. Round 3 for the trenches. It all starts right now.